Hey everybody, I'm Adam.
And I'm Jay.
We are Encounter Wargaming.
And we wanted to celebrate hitting our 1,500 subscribers with giving some stuff away. What are we giving away, Adam?
Forge Bane!
Yeah.
Alright, we're calling this the 2,500 subscriber Forge Bane giveaway because that's the target we need to hit to give this puppy away.
That's right. So the first thing you need to do is share this video, the video you are watching right now. And
then click subscribe on YouTube.
if you haven't already.
That's it for one entry.
And the more you share it, hopefully, the more people we can get to hit subscribe and hit that 2,500.
Woohoo!
But there are other ways to win as well.
Tell them about it.
Well, you can follow us on Twitch. That will also get you an entry. So you subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitch. On top of that,
support us on Patreon for 5 big buckaroo entries.
Crazy. So also all the people that already support us on Patreon, don't worry, you're also 5 entries. But also, you can hit subscribe on Twitch. Subscribing on Twitch will get you another 5 entries into the contest.
So good, and all of this to say thank you guys for all the support. We appreciate it very much. We've come a long way, and it's because of you.
It's true. It's been a wild ride, and thanks for all the support, all the help, and we want to give you some cool stuff as a thank you.
Awesome. So hey, remember to share this video, and guys, I think that's it. So we'll see you at our next encounter. Hey everybody, it's Adam from Encounter Wargaming, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on teaching you how to convert a box of Squatty Potty Necron Warriors into walking Necron Warriors. Alright, so I'm really excited to do this tutorial because, number one, Squatty Potty, like I get the feel, I get the look, the kind of hunched over, moving slow, kind of just lumbering around, kind of robot feel. But when you look at the artwork in the codex, I mean, there's the kind of iconic picture of a Necron warrior just walking, kind of slowly carrying his gun, similar to this, but he's holding it a little bit more down. So I figured I'd do you guys a special treat and teach you how to convert your new Necron warriors, because the new Necron Codex did drop. It is the new hotness. So let's take all those new Necron Warriors everybody's getting and convert them to look a little more realistic, a little more cool, a little more sleek, and yeah, let's just have fun with it. So let's jump in. So here's our box of Necron Warriors, and of course I've already taken some stuff out of it. I worked on it a little bit, but here's all the biddies that come in there. We can toss that aside. Instructions, who needs those? And here's our sprues, so it's pretty simple. I mean, you got a sprue with arms and scarabs, and then a sprue with legs and bodies. So let's just go ahead and clip ourselves out a Necron Warrior, and then we'll get started. So yeah, let's go ahead and clip a couple of those out. Let's be right back. And there they are, all the pieces are cut out. Now, we are going to actually take a second. You're going to get a sub-tutorial inside of this tutorial on how to remove mold lines. I'm such a believer in removing mold lines to make the model look good and complete that I'm going to take a second and just teach you how to do this. So let's zoom in, get up close and personal on one piece, and I'll show you how I remove mold lines real quick. And here we are. So nice up close and personal. You can see on this model there are these tiny little lines here called mold lines. This is where the two parts of the mold come together, and a little bit of the plastic seeps through and just leaves a little tiny mold in between those two parts of the mold, hence mold line. Okay, so the issue though is what is supposed to be a smooth surface now has a big line on it, and so we need to remove that, or else the model just kind of looks excuse me, just looks unfinished. It looks rough, and we don't want that. We're going for a pro here. So I just take a little hobby knife, really simple, and I just slide it along that mold line right there. So a little bit of an angle, maybe about a 45 degree angle on the piece, and that's how I do it. So let's quickly do it across the entire model. Get it nice and smooth. Awesome. Too easy. So that's one leg. It is important to have just a thorough look around all the pieces, because they can get into some weird spots, these little mold lines. They're sneaky buggers. Good. All right, looking clean, looking fresh. Just keep it going all the way down. Let's have a look. Oops. I did get a fresh blade for this, so this thing's nice and sharp. And I do suggest working with a nice sharp blade, because, yeah, like if you stab it into your hand, you know, it's going to cut you. But you're actually less likely to make mistakes because you're not fighting with the knife. The knife does exactly what it's supposed to do, and it cuts into the plastic, and so you're less likely to trip up and stab yourself in that way. So working with sharp tools is always safer than working with slightly dull ones. And there we go. Cool. So that is how you remove mold lines. So go ahead and do that on all of the bits for all of those warriors. And there they are. All the mold lines are removed, and we've got them organized by each warrior here. So let's just focus on one of these. We can throw two of these guys aside for now. And let's just zoom in and focus on one at a time, because what we're going to do is we're going to have to do one at a time, because each is going to be a very unique pose. We don't want to double up on any poses. So, you may double up on a couple, you know, left foot forward, right foot forward, however you go there. So let's get a couple of the key pieces together and see what we're going to do. So let's zoom in. We'll be right back. Here we are. We got a close-up of our Necron Warrior, and we can glue together the body. So let's go ahead and do that. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Awesome. Just get that drying. Great. And we can put the gun together, and then we can toss those aside. So the Gauss blaster? Something like that. There it is. Okay, we can stick the end on it. The what, muzzle? Is that what we call this end here? Sure. Let's glue the muzzle on there. Why not? Make sure she's nice and straight. Beauties. Looking good. Put that aside. Okay, so this arm we can put aside, and this head we can put aside for a second. And now we're really going to focus on what everybody came here to see, which is the legs and posing them well. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this one, and that'll give you the principles that you guys can use to modify these, because look at the difference. I mean, look, we got Squatty Potty Magoo. Like, who stands like that? Versus this really sleek, really intimidating looking robot just marching forward, ready to murder face. Okay, so how do we get there? How do we take Squatty Potty Magoo and turn him into murder face? Okay, murder face, you stand there. Squatty Potty Magoo. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a series of cuts. We're going to cut some toes, we're going to cut some knees, and we're going to cut in the joints here. So let's start there and isolate the legs. Okay, so if you notice, there's like a ball joint and then a flat, oops, stay on camera. Okay, so if you notice, there's a ball joint inside of each of these. Let me zoom in real quick. Let's get nice up close and personal on this so you can really see what's going on here. Okay, so ball joint, flat piece. Okay, we want to separate those two on both sides. Okay, so we want to separate the ball joint from the flat piece. Very easy. So let's just cut that. Just get your knife. Knife's already flat, so it'll go right up against that flat piece. Whoop! The leg went flying. That's okay. Okay, so now we just have a nice flat piece there. And then let's get it on the other side as well. Oh, there, that went like flying. Okay, now I gotta go find my legs. I can see them, they're just out of range. There's one. There's the other. Beautiful. So if we come back out just a tiny bit, we'll be able to analyze the next cuts. So we've got our torso, and that'll be able that'll give us the ability to adjust the legs in and out. So right, we'll be able to adjust them front to back like this, but then we still have problems at the knees, right? Because we do want a nice straight leg. Let's get our camera focused here. We do want a straight leg. Okay. So I'm actually going to do the opposite. I'm going to have the straight leg on this one on the right leg. Okay. So what I am going to do here is I'm actually just going to kind of pull this one straight and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and just slowly bend it forward. Now I may snap this piece. I may snap this piece right here, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. So slowly bend it forward. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. We're just stretching that plastic piece there in the back. You see it's turning white because it's under so much stress. Let's do a little bit more. Oh, there we go. I felt something give. Not bad. Okay, so there we go. We stretched that a little bit. Got it straight. I'm actually going to take some glue, shove it in there to give it a little more stability. Let's see if we can't get this camera to focus up here. Perfect. Beautiful. So we'll just get that covered in glue there. Okay, so that'll help that get a little more solid. And so now we have a straight leg there. Now the problem is with this straight leg is that because of the angle of the foot, it's still leaning fairly far forward, okay? So we do want to adjust the angle of the foot. So let's go ahead and make a cut at that ankle. Try not to let our pieces go flying anymore. Okay, great, great. So now what we're going to do, okay, because we do want to, we need to adjust this angle a little bit, is we're actually going to take some off. So right now, the angle of this flat bit is, it's kind of on this angle, right? So I'll just over exaggerate. So the flat bit is on this of an angle. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that angle here, but I'm gonna adjust the angle on the foot itself by shaving it backwards. So I want to take off some of the back heel. Okay, so I want to make a cut. Taking it back at the heel a little bit. That's huge. That's going to help us a lot. Just taking a close look myself. Okay, beautiful. So now that we have our foot, let's compare. Perfect. That's a lot more. It's a lot better of an angle for what we want the straight leg to be at. And this will also give us the ability, folks, to turn the foot however we want. So do we want the foot to be out a little bit more, or do we want it to be in a little bit more? based on how this guy is now standing, and so this is a really helpful cut to make for both of those reasons. Okay, so there we go. So let's keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do, I'll pop a little glue there. Just a little bit, beauties. Get this guy back on. Let this dry while we work on the other leg. Boop. Yeah, this can be a definitely fiddly process right here. So this will be the part that you really work on, get right, set it up in a way that it doesn't just fall apart on you. Because you'll have to hold these a little bit till they dry and all that. You know what? I'm going to adjust the angle on here a little bit too. So I'm going to take my knife, kind of flatten this out. Okay. Okay, hopefully that helps a little bit. Okay. Now, hopefully, we're getting somewhere. Beautiful. That's a much straighter leg, much better angle of the foot. Okay, so good. Let's put that aside. Now, the next leg, it's actually good to have that leg still bent, right? So we can, let's get the focus forward a little bit. Okay, so we can leave this leg bent like that, but we're gonna have to do a lot of work on where it attaches at the hip and the angle of the toe, right? Because you see this, the foot right now is flat. I'll show you, right? The foot right now here, it's flat, okay? But when you're walking, right, our toes bend a little bit to give us a little bit of leverage as we push off, okay? So we want to emulate that a little right there. So first off, let's get the angle of our hip, okay? And that's all about adjusting this ball joint right here, which we're going to have to do to our other leg as well. So I actually do like to just grab a pair of clippers for this. So I got my clippers because it can just cut a nice flat joint in one solid go there. So I got my clippers, and now it's about figuring out exactly what angle to clip it at, okay? Because we got to eliminate that squatty potty look where the legs are just like torqued out in front and to the side. So we want it more in and back, okay? So that means we need to adjust the flatness, the flat part of this leg, to be more along the front to back axis here. So just cut it with the clippers and then adjust it with the knife a little bit. Beautiful. Okay, so now let's compare to here. Good, so that's gonna sit nice and straight. Just compare that flat, but that'll sit nice and straight. Perfect, so that's how we want that angle. So we can now adjust this front to back, right, this way, along this axis, any way we want, and it'll sit flat here. Perfect. So let's make the toe cut. Okay, so we do want to adjust the toe. Now don't lose this toe piece, and I'm going to cut it just behind, maybe a millimeter or 2 millimeters behind the two toe lines, to give ourselves room to play with. Okay, make sure those toes don't go flying. They'll be impossible to find. Okay, so there you go. So there's the little toe piece cut. Now, we need to make it so that we can glue it back on that angle. So we are going to cut into into this. Okay, so we're going to cut into this at an angle. I'm just going to shave. I'm just going to shave a little bit of plastic off along here. Hopefully evenly all the way across. Okay. There we go. So all I did was I tried to give it, cut it, it was flat, okay? It was flat. Now I'm trying to cut it at an angle like this, okay? So hopefully you can see that. Tried to give you guys a good angle on that. So now hopefully I got an angle cut here. And so now hopefully I can get my toes, and hopefully I don't have to do too much work on this little tiny piece, but hopefully I can just get these toes and just glue them flat back on. Okay, so let's get our glue. Let's put it on there. See how we did. Okay, and great, we got a good angle. Gotta adjust the piece a little bit. Oh, let's push it around. Hopefully I'm still on camera. Let me check. Oh yeah, we're still on camera. Good, good, good. Beautiful, not bad. So now we have that toe articulation, which is perfect. Okay, so let's set that aside to dry. Hopefully the other leg has been drying as we've been going. And we'll just check how stable it is. Not bad. Okay, so we do want to fix that hip articulation on this leg. So that, again, it's not sticking out so much. We want to eliminate that squatty potty look. So let's cut that ball joint in the same way that we did the other one. And give it that flat angle along the hip. Maybe I did it a little bit too much. Almost got it coming in a little bit. So let's just cut it back the other way. Need somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle of those two. And just compare. Perfect. So that'll be perfect. So that'll be straight up and down how we want it. Okay. So now let's start gluing this whole mess back together. All right. And now you may do one and then wait for it to dry and then do the other. I'm going to try and do them both right now for you. Okay, there's our straight up and down leg. And then we got our bent knee. Actually, I want the straight up and down to be going a little back, or a little more back, so I'll adjust that angle. Just slightly. Put some glue on here. Okay, now this is where it all comes together. Okay, this will determine the pose of your mini, depending on how all these angles worked out for you. How did we do? Okay, well, let's see here. So it's almost like a neat, like, torque pose that we got here, like twisted. May want to pull this down a little bit and maybe get the knee coming a little bit more forward. What we'll do is we'll have this guy with a heavy lean to the left. I think that'll be really cool. Okay. And, you know, yeah. Yeah. No, do I want the straight leg pointing a little bit more forward? I don't know. Tough choice. Okay, well, tell you what. Let's just get them on a base and we can adjust. So here's my base. Now I'll just put a little tiny bit on because I want to put them on really cool bases later. So I'm just going to put a tiny little dot. Get them on a base. Oh yeah, so now we can see he's definitely got a lean, which could be bad or could be good. Let's see, if we get him leaning forward and torqued a little bit, I think it could be a really cool pose. And what's creating this here is I have a bad angle on this leg. I have it a little too much in, which I actually could adjust right now if I rip it off. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Okay, let's do that. Let's rip that off. Let's adjust this ball joint from the back. Okay, so we almost could have maybe used a little bit of the original angle of that leg. Can't get that on there. Get that to tack a little bit. Okay, hopefully we can hold that. That'll tack. And then we can work the body based on this new... Yeah, this is looking a little more natural. Doesn't have to be like a crazy, like a dark Eldar pose, you know, where they're just, woo, they're going at crazy angles because they're moving so fast. These guys are only moving 5, right? So we don't have to make them too crazy. I was thinking I might go with that crazy pose for a second, but nah, they are robots. After all. Okay, that's a little better, a little more natural looking for a robot. Great, fabulous. Love it. Okay, now let's work the body angle. Now this is where you really sell it, right? This is where you sell the walking pose. Is with the angles on the rest of the body. So, how do we want this guy? Do we want him up? Do we want him leaning? He still is going to have his gun pointing a little off to the left. Yeah, let's at least have him over a little bit to support that angle. Give him a reason to be leaning over like that, just that little bit. Okay. Now the head's going to go on very last because it's really going to sell all the angles on this stuff. And we'll get this gun on, so I'll just get some glue on all the different parts. Now you notice, yeah, I'm being very pragmatic with how I let this all come together, and that's okay. Okay, so we got our piece here. Let's get this gun angle. See how we can't work that to help sell our walking pose. Now, okay, so his arm socket's kind of hanging there. Get in there, buddy. Get in there. Oh, now I kind of like this down low position that's kind of naturally happened. Okay, yeah, maybe we can sell that. Really get the look going. So, okay, I like that down low. Really supporting that leg angle we got. And I think the head, if we get it in the right spot, is really going to make us winners today. So, beauties, beauties. How are we going to do this head? Let's play around. Have fun. So yeah, so something I noticed, and this is a good tip, is because they're actually meant to be hunched over a lot. So you really do have to mess with these. Let me get the knife here to point more specifically to get focus. Okay, you really do have to mess with these little things here that hold the head up, because normally they're very hunched over, so these help get the head back to more of a forward looking position. But because we're straightening up all the bodies, you do need to mess with those a little bit. So I'm not just going to chop them both off, because I do want to keep them. They're an important detail. But it will depend on which way we want this guy looking. Okay, so I think we probably want him looking to the left. So I am going to go ahead and chop the one on the left side down. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get some glue in there, and then I'll show you guys the finished result. Whoop. Okay, how is that head angle? I like that head angle. So there he is. So there's our walking Necron. Let's stand these guys up beside each other and just show you the two of them. We'll be back in 1 second. And there you have it. There are two walking Necron Warriors. And side by side, they look really cool. So much more natural than Squatty Potty. Like, these are just robots coming to mess up your day. That is super fun. Like this guy that we did just here. Like, this guy's coming at you. He ain't messing around. Super cool. So I hope you have fun converting all of your warriors to be walking. And you can do different varieties of these. You can have all different kinds of poses. I'm probably going to figure out ways to make like a crouching one, like a dude taking up a sniper position or something like that. But I'm also going to have a bunch of my squad like busted up and falling apart, and having scarabs like coming around them and putting them back together. So I'm excited to do up those conversions. I'll probably do a tutorial on how to do that as well. So stay tuned for that in the future. But yeah, guys, I hope that was helpful. I hope this really helps spice up your main battle line troops, units in your army, because that's always my favorite, is having really impressive looking troops, whether they're just, you know, done normally but just painted really well, or you know, you take a little extra effort and make your troops do some conversions on them too. This isn't too complicated, but I think it'll add a lot to your army. So guys, have fun with that. If you like this video, I would just love if you could go down there and hit that little subscribe button. And if you really like the video, you can go down to the video description below, where you can become a supporter of the channel on Patreon. That's the way we keep driving this thing. For as little as $1 a video, you can support everything we do here at the channel. And so that would be super cool if you could jump in and support us in that way. Guys, that's all for now. We'll see you in the next one. We'll see you at our next encounter.
Like a monkey in a rocket on his way back home. Okay. Scratching his head upon a milk